I'm here with Basil Puglisi, the founder and operator of Higher Education Mentor. Mr. Puglisi, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm very well. So today we're going to spend some time talking about college consulting. This is a topic that's been in Business Week, Newsweek, YouTube, and plenty other places. It seems as though everyone is selling or laying claim to college coaching or some type of admissions counselor, something that's even out of college. Can you tell me, sir, why is this necessary?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the basic concept of, you ever heard back in the day, the lawyer who has himself as a client is truly a fool.
Yeah.
It's about the professionalism and experience and the skill set in a particular area. Admissions processes across the country have become incredibly complex. There's no unified standard. They're different from one university to the next. And if you're trying to get into one of the Ivies, it's even more complicated. A lot of this has happened because these universities are competing for the same students. They are literally going after the best students possible so that way they themselves can become more prestigious. It takes place more often than not when we're talking about who the student is as an entire package. Not just their GPA, not just their test scores, but where their student involvement is and how they're going to reflect the university that they become a part of.
So the reason that you are marketing this, and I'm guessing you're really focusing on people who are entering college?
Well, there's a lot of different aspects of Higher Education Mentor. I mean, that's the beauty of Higher Education Mentor. When I was working in student affairs, one of the things I started to realize was that we had all these wonderful people out there that were trying to help people get into college, and it's you had mentioned college coaching earlier.
Right.
And I find that absolutely amusing. Because imagine if you would for a second, someone's calling himself a college coach. Right?
Coach.
So let's look at what a coach is. Imagine for a second Joe Paterno, the head coach at Penn State University, shows up at every practice, shows up for the training and the recruitment of his team, and on the first game of the season, nowhere to be found. Or for the rest of the season, for that matter. And I find that funny because the industry has created this consulting service where they call themselves college coaches, admissions coaches, and really they're there to help you out to get you into college, but then once you get in, they're nowhere to be found. Isn't it as important to be successful once you're in, not just to get in? Investment, okay? With the exception of buying your home, your child or your own college education is likely to be the largest expense that you will face in your lifetime.
Okay.
Why? It's an investment, all right? If you're going to be spending $30,000, $60,000, $120,000 on your education, you're telling me if it's $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 more to make sure that you have someone who has been through the process, has an organization and a group of consultants that have master's degrees, PhDs, work in student affairs, work in admissions, that having them is not going to be an advantage that's going to provide a smoother transition for you and allow to kind of provide a guarantee almost that your investment is going to be worthwhile.
Why this company? I'm getting the fact that you specialize. I'm getting the fact that it's hard to get in.
What we specialize in
What specifically
is
am I
limitless. It's limitless, okay? And why it's limitless? Because of the fact that instead of just business people, this is not an organization that's run by business people. It's not just entrepreneurs, okay? These are people that have experience in student affairs, academic affairs, admissions, so on and so forth. What I'm giving you is the entire spectrum of higher education itself that you would find in a university has been incorporated into Higher Education Mentor. There are people.
About the 8th grade thing. Why 8th grade?
Well, it's about having time to prepare the student. You want the student to have a proper high school experience, but at the same token, you need to understand that when it comes time for that admissions process for college, the grades and the experience they're going on is from 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. You can have the greatest senior year in the world in high school, but your application's probably out in the mail before the grades are ever in or your experiences are ever fully developed.
Okay.
So really the 8th grade is an ideal time to start with a client. It allows us to sit down with them, find out a little bit about who the student is, what the student's interested in. It gives us time to develop the student into making sure that when we start making recommendations for how they should be involved in high school, maybe what they should be doing, whether it be athletics, charity, drama club, music bands, things of that nature, that we're allowing the student to pick things that they enjoy. because there's nothing worse than having to put something on an application that a student didn't really do, okay? Or for that matter, making the student do something which they're not interested in. They're not really going to succeed that way. So by starting in the 8th grade, it allows us to have enough time between 8th and 9th grade to really start to find what the student's niche is, what it is that they're going to naturally be successful at, and that they're going to naturally be able to succeed and bring with them into higher education. Starting at that age group allows us to build that resume, because that's what it is a resume that will go with them into the admissions process to show them that, hey, it's not just a good student, they're also a good person. And being both a good student and a good person makes for a much better candidate.
Isn't that something that I get for free at the university? I mean, I'm here.
It's all about numbers, really. It really is all about numbers. You know, would you rather be one of 1,000 people standing online to get a job? Would you rather be that one person that you know is going to get the interview?
Okay, I get that. But aren't there organizations, I don't mean to be hard, but
so, listen, the average student may very well get their way through their 4-year or 5 years in undergraduate work and have had the opportunity to become an RA, may have had the opportunity to get a good internship. What I'm telling you is our higher education mentor clients will all have taken advantage of an opportunity, will all have had a quality internship. That's a part of our program, is to make sure that we get them into that direction so that way they do not miss by chance.
Okay.
That experience is what's going to allow your child or yourself to have a great career waiting for you when you're done. You're not going to be behind the 8 ball. We're preparing to make sure that you are at a stage where when you sit down and you're competing for jobs, careers, and opportunities, you are the one who's at the top of the mark, not at the middle. I'll tell you, the first thing that I think is important is you should know what a consultant should never do. Okay? You can go to our website at highereducationmentor.com. Spend a little time. There's a lot of resources in there. One of the things that we lay out in there are 10 things that a consultant should never do for you. All right? And I'm not going to get into those now because it could take a while, especially to explain them, but it's something that you should certainly go look at and understand, because if someone approaches you offering to do one of those things, that's your immediate red flag. Something's wrong here.
you mean to tell me that 8th grade, high school, into college, ready to come out of college, and then you're still going on with your services?
Listen, if when you reach that final point, when you've graduated, you've gone as far as higher education is going to take you in your field, and you're ready to move on, if I'm not ready to provide those services for you, I'm going to set you up with the right person who is. We're not going to leave you hanging. The difference is the relationship. We are not a contract for hire, in, out, goodbye, good luck for the rest of your life. We're in this for the long haul to make sure you succeed in life. Part of succeeding in life is what happens when you're done with your education.
Do you do lectures? Do you do workshops?
One of the things you'll notice about Higher Education Mentor is that you may be running into us a lot more out in the community than you do on the internet or on TV. And the reason why is because part of that pro bono mentality, and listen, I'm gonna call it what it is. It's marketing and advertising opportunity. You will see myself and other consultants going out into the community and doing presentations on college planning, doing presentations on being successful in college. And those are the two areas that we're kind of concentrating on right now. But we want to do that because the problem is awareness is the first step in being able to prepare yourself for college. Most parents and most students in high school are not aware of how complicated or how important this process is. There's no opportunity for a learning curve. You get to apply once. That's it. You can't learn from it and then say, okay, I'm going to go back and do it better again the next time. You got to be able to attack this thing the first time the right way. And that's why it's so important to have a higher education mentor, because we're going to help you take advantage of that one and only opportunity you have to get into the school that's your best fit, and hopefully get you enough financial aid or financial support so that way you can attend that school and be successful once you get in.
Okay. All right. Well, the website one more time.
The website's highereducationmentor.com. Feel free to come visit it. If you have any questions, you can contact us at staff@highereducationmentor.com. And I'd just like to say thank you again. I look forward to doing business with you in the future.
Have a nice day, sir.